Imagine 8 billion people in a single city. Every human alive packed into one place. No other towns, no villages, nothing else. Just one vast glowing metropolis on Earth. How big would this city actually be? Where on the planet could it even fit? And could the rest of the world breathe again? The answer reshapes everything you know about geography. It changes farmland, oceans, forests, and climate. So let's build this impossible city step by step. Start with the number itself. Earth holds roughly 8 billion people. That is the population we must house. Now picture density. Pack people like Central Paris does, you get a city about the size of Texas. Pack them tighter, like Manhattan. The city shrinks dramatically. It becomes roughly the size of New Zealand's North Island. Go denser still like Dhaka in Bangladesh. Now everyone fits inside an area smaller than England. But density has limits. Skyscrapers need foundations, water, and sewage. The ground itself must support the weight. So where could this city stand? It needs flat land, fresh water, and the mild climate. Most deserts and mountains are out. The American Midwest could work. So could the plains of Ukraine or parts of Central Africa. Geography narrows the options fast. Let's place it in the United States. Spread across Texas, the city becomes a continent of glass. Skylines stretch past the horizon. The logistics are staggering. 8 billion people need food every single day. That food must come from somewhere. Farmland would still cover much of Earth, but now it feeds one city, not thousands. Supply chains become arteries. Ports would handle unimaginable traffic. Ships from empty continents would arrive constantly. The Gulf of Mexico becomes a global highway. Water is the next problem. 8 billion people drink, wash, and flush daily. Rivers alone cannot carry that load. Engineers would tap aquifers, desalinate oceans, and recycle every drop. Water pipelines would stretch thousands of miles. The city drinks from the whole planet. Energy demand explodes. Imagine every light, every screen, every air conditioner in one place. The grid would dwarf anything ever built. Solar farms would blanket nearby deserts. Wind turbines would line the coasts. Nuclear plants would ring the city like a necklace. Waste becomes a mountain. Trash, sewage, and emissions concentrate in one spot. Pollution would not spread thinly across continents. Instead, it would pile up locally. The air above the city could choke. Rivers downstream would carry the burden. But here is the surprising part. The rest of Earth would empty out completely. Forests, deserts, and tundras would have no humans. Wildlife would reclaim every continent. Wolves would roam through Rome. Tigers could prowl old highways in India. Coral reefs might heal. Fish stocks would rebound. The oceans would breathe again without coastal cities. And climate patterns could shift too. Without scattered emissions, carbon would concentrate near the city. The rest of the atmosphere clears slightly. Yet the city itself becomes a heat island. Concrete and steel trap warmth. Local temperatures rise several degrees above the surroundings. Rain patterns change around it. The city generates its own weather. Storms form over the skyline almost daily. Would you ever live in a place like this? A city the size of a country, holding all of humanity? Tell me below. Now imagine the human side. 8 billion people sharing one transit system, one internet backbone, one emergency network. Languages would collide, thousands of tongues spoken on the same street. Translation technology would become essential infrastructure. Cultures would blend and clash. Neighborhoods would form by origin, language, and trade. The city becomes a mosaic of every human story. Travel inside it would take days. Crossing from one edge to another might rival flying across continents today. High-speed rail would be the lifeline. Vertical movement matters too. Buildings would climb a kilometer or more. Elevators become as important as roads. Underground layers would multiply. Subways, utilities, and storage would stack downward. The city grows in 3 dimensions, not 2. Food production gets clever. Vertical farms inside skyscrapers grow vegetables year-round. Lab-grown meat reduces the need for distant ranches. But staples still need fields. Wheat, rice, and corn require open land. Those fields remain, but the farmers commute by air. Disease becomes a serious risk. 8 billion bodies in close quarters spread illness fast. One outbreak could reach everyone in days. Public health systems would be massive. Hospitals the size of small cities. Surveillance and sanitation become non-negotiable. Yet there are real benefits. Shorter supply chains mean less transport pollution. Shared infrastructure is far more efficient. One power grid serves all. One water system, one sewage network. Per person, resource use could actually drop. Wilderness recovers on a planetary scale. 99% of Earth becomes wild again. That is the deepest change of all. National borders would feel strange. If everyone lives in one city, what does a country even mean? Politics would have to be reinvented. Governance would likely shift to districts. Each neighborhood handles local matters. A central authority manages the whole. Of course, this scenario is impossible. No nation would accept it. No ecosystem could absorb the shock overnight. But the thought experiment reveals something important. Humans already live more concentrated than we realize. More than half of us live in cities today. That share keeps rising. By 2050, nearly 70% will be urban. We are quietly drifting toward this future. Megacities are already forming. Tokyo, Delhi, and Shanghai each hold tens of millions. They hint at what extreme concentration looks like. The lesson is geographic, not utopian. Where people gather shapes everything else. Land, water, climate, and wildlife respond to our footprint. When humans cluster, nature recovers nearby. When humans spread, nature retreats everywhere. Density is not the enemy, sprawl often is. So the impossible city teaches a real truth. Concentrating people done wisely can save the planet. Done poorly, it can choke it. The why of where is simple. Geography rewards efficient density and punishes endless sprawl. Every choice we make echoes across the map. One city for all humans will never exist, but the principles behind it shape every real city today. That is the quiet revelation. If this made you see cities differently, leave a comment with your thoughts. Subscribe and tap the bell for more on how the world really works. Because in the end, where we live decides what the world becomes.